Hello and welcome to Gretchen's Guidance. It is day 9 and today we are going to be talking about Moses's 5 excuses in the Bible. Alrighty, so I would like to wish to you a lot of love and a lot of blessings, and I hope that you're having a great day. And I think this story of Moses in the Bible is going to really help you with finding your purpose. Alrighty, so let's jump in. All right, so this actually, I got this from my day 40 of my Bible app in a year. And what I what I normally do, of course, you all know, is when I spend my alone time with God, I have my journal and I write down 2 happy memories. I write down some fears and I listen to my Holy Bible app, and I'm actually sitting up, right? I'm sitting up while I'm writing my memories. I'm sitting up while I'm writing my fears. I'm sitting up while I'm listening to the devotion. It's about a 30-minute devotional every day. I'm sitting up and I'm taking notes while I'm listening to that. It's a very active experience. And then I pray. I say, Lord, I thank you for these memories. Oh, I also write down what I'm thankful for. That's a huge thing. So I read that to God. I give all those things to Him. And so when I took notes, so I'm sitting up doing those things. And then when it comes time to spend alone time with God, then I just kind of sit back and close my eyes. And that's when I listen to God and ask Him to speak to me. And sometimes He does, and sometimes He does not. Sometimes I just feel His peace, and I just feel peace. I close my eyes, I see a really bright orange light, and His peace comes over me, and I just sit and get refreshed. To me, I feel like it's almost like an energy boost when I do that He just refreshes my spirit, and it feels so good. There's nothing like it. But then there's also times that He speaks to me. I feel like He speaks to me more throughout my day as I'm doing things, which is why I carry the notebook around with me to write down what He says to me. I feel like He speaks to me a lot in that way. But He also speaks to me when I spend quiet time with Him. Now, if I don't do that, if I don't spend that time with God, then I miss out Him speaking to me throughout my day. So that's why it's really important. It messes up my whole day if I don't do it. So in my journal, I wrote down, because it had to do with the Bible, this is my heart journal. I wrote down Moses and his 5 excuses. Okay. And I hope that some of you can relate to this. Probably there's some Sunday school teachers in here and you're going, why do you want to do the story of Moses? Well, we can learn from it. And I've never heard it explained this way. And so I really liked how it was explained, and it helped me. And of course, if it helps me, I want to share it. I want to share it with others. So, so this was called 5 Excuses, and the gentleman that was doing the devotional actually talked about a Frank Sinatra song that was written in 1969 called 5 Excuses. I don't think I've heard it, but I might Google it and listen to it. All right, so Moses had 5 excuses when God asked him to go to Egypt. So kind of like the backstory is that Moses's people that he really cared about, they were in Egypt being ruled under Pharaoh, and Pharaoh's the one where his heart was hardened, and he would not listen to God. And there was like the plague of frogs, all these things that happened, and Pharaoh would not listen to God. And it was Moses's job to go and get these people away from Pharaoh. So, and of course, it's like Moses in the burning bush, that whole story. So some of you can relate to it from remembering that or hearing of that. A lot of people have heard about that story. Okay, so God goes to Moses, and Moses says, sorry about that. Moses says, or God says to Moses that you're going to go and get these people out of Pharaoh's leadership, and you're going to bring him back to the land of milk and honey. Okay, and so first of all, Moses says, who am I? Okay, I'm not the right person. Okay, he asked God, who am I? I'm not the right person to go. And God told him, I will go with you. Okay. The second question, or the second thing that Moses said, his second excuse. So his first excuse to God was, I'm the wrong person. His second excuse was, I'm not ready. Okay. He asked God, what should I tell them? So he didn't feel prepared. He didn't feel ready to go. So maybe on the purpose journey that you're on right now is that you're feeling like you're not the right person for the job. You don't really know what to do. You're confused. You're lost. And it says that God will go with you. Because I think whatever God said to Moses, he would say to us too, because we're all his children. So Moses said, well, I'm not ready. And he said, he asked God, he said, what should I tell them? Okay. And so, pretty much God said, you tell them that I am. Okay. And so the third one was, well, what if I fail? Okay. And I think a lot of us feel like that. That has kept me from finding my purpose for years and years of what if I fail? And I think that's where I talked about on another video where I was living life and God was coming along. And I think it means to step out and follow him. And if you fail, don't worry, because God will be with you. All right. So his first excuse was he was the wrong person. His second excuse was he wasn't ready. His third excuse was, what if I fail? All right. So his fourth excuse, and I really relate to this one, is I don't have the skills. Okay. So Moses had a speech impediment. Some people describe it as he had a stuttering problem, or maybe it was that he didn't know what to say. And God told him that he would tell him what to say. And so I can really relate to that, because I've said previously that my mom, when she talks, some of her words, it almost sounds like we've been drinking or something when we're talking. And just because the way we will slur our words and we don't enunciate words quite correctly, my mom does it and I do it. I don't really know what it is. And my roommates in college, they had the best time with it. And I will also take words and put wrong endings on them, and the wrong prefixes and the wrong suffixes, and I do all kinds of stuff to words. So I can feel very comfortable too, because and that really kept me from getting in front of people for a very long time. So I can really relate to this one. And he said, please send someone else, right? And so how many times do we think, it needs to be done, but you want someone else to go. Surely it can't be you. And so God was mad about this and I think God was mad because he knew that he would equip Moses with what he needed to do. Moses did not need anyone with him. He had God. But guess what? Moses asked for help. And so what did God do? He gave it to him. So it's kind of cool. It's just like that right now in our society. If you ask for help, if you're humble and you ask for help, a lot of times it'll be given to you. And if you're in a place where you're asking for help and it's not granted, then you probably shouldn't be there. So he said that he would send his brother Aaron with him, and that he would tell Aaron what to say, and then Aaron would relay the messages. So even though it made God mad that Moses doubted his power, God still helped and said that he would send Aaron with him for support, which was his brother. So the 5 excuses that Moses used was that he was the wrong person. Number 1. Number 2, he wasn't ready. Number 3, what if he failed? Number 4, he didn't have the skills. He had a speech impediment. Number 5, please send someone else. And he said, oh, you're still going, but I will send Aaron with you, which was his brother. And so it's very interesting to me, this story. And I'm going to actually finish this story in another video because it's such a long and interesting story about Moses. But the cool thing is that Moses went. Okay, so that's why I'm saying that we need to be more like Moses, because he had all these excuses and he had all these reasons of why not to go. And I can relate to him because I've done that before in so many situations in my life when God has told me to do something. And I've done exactly what Moses did. So I can definitely relate to him. But guess what? Moses still went. And if you want to know what happens, and some of you might already know, but if you want to know what happens with a little bit of my spin on it, then you will love the next video about how Moses, what happened because Moses followed his purpose. How was he blessed? And it's such an amazing story that I can't wait to share the rest of it with you. I'm not going to do it today because y'all were busy and this video would be very long. And so I'm going to save it for another video. So remember today, as you're going throughout your day, is if you're feeling, you know, a little nervous or anxious about your purpose, just talk to God about it. It's okay to be anxious and nervous. It's scary when you're trying to do something new or when you're trying to add something new to your already life that you're living. But just talk to God about it and he'll give you that confidence. And read about Moses. Read Moses' story. His story is in Exodus. The part where it talks about his excuses is Exodus 4-6, but Moses is pretty much all throughout the book of Exodus. So you can actually go to your Bible and read about him. And I would encourage you to take notes as you read about Moses, and then I can guarantee that you will get some guidance, because the cool thing about the Bible is that it's alive. And I know that sounds silly, right? Because there's so many Bibles on shelves in homes in America that have dust on them and they don't get read and they sit there and they're pretty. And I know I have one that's pink and it's got my name on it. But it's alive. And how I know that it's alive, and I know some of you all feel this way too, is because I will read Exodus one day and it'll say something to me, and then I'll read it 3 days later and it'll say something totally different. So I know that the Bible is alive because I feel like when I'm reading it, it's connecting to my spirit, it's giving me wisdom, it's giving me advice. And so it is a book, it's the only book that you're going to read that it's going to be alive and give you wisdom and give you kind of an arrow as you're going along your path. So that would be my suggestion to you today, is when you're feeling like Moses, talk to God and read in the Bible, the book of Exodus, and, you know, just take some notes and see where you're led after you read that. Okay, well, thank you so much for being here, and I hope this spoke to you. I hope this helped you. I hope it gave you encouragement, because even if it's just one person that watches the video and is gathering encouragement from what I've said, then I have done God's work today. And so thank you for watching. Please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you haven't already, I'm seeing that I'm having more and more subscribers, and I'm so excited about that. And please come back for day 10. We're going to be talking a little bit more about Moses and what we can learn from him. And after that, we're going to be talking about how you need to have a cheerleader in your life. My circle is extremely small, and when I was healed, my circle got much smaller when I went to counseling and was actually healed. And so it's really important to have a cheerleader. I have 3 cheerleaders in my life that are so important to me, and I'm going to share some characteristics about them. One of my cheerleaders is, she brings me stuff all the time. It's just so amazing. I have on her earrings. I have on her clothes. I have on her whole outfit. She brings me hand-me-downs. She is just the most amazing person. I won't be mentioning names, because some people aren't comfortable with that. But I have 3 cheerleaders that I'm going to tell you about. And it's really important while you're finding your purpose that you have some cheerleaders in your life. All right. Well, thank you for joining. Day 10 will be more about Moses, and day 11 will be about your cheerleaders. All right. Thank you, and I will see you soon. And please don't forget to stir up some love today. All right. Bye-bye.